Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about the Resistance Avalon. Don't forget to stay tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches update.
All right. So in this game, it's based off of another game called The Resistance, but this is The Resistance Avalon. That game has like spies and stuff, like good spies and evil spies. This game has knights and evil knights. And you
Just show them.
You don't know who anybody is.
Just
There's
show them.
Merlin. There's like
Oh my
Morgana
gosh.
in
Oh
it.
my gosh. Just show them.
Let me show you how it works. Alright, so we are all ready to play The Resistance Avalon. We have 3 boards that are double-sided that we're going to choose from. In this case, we've got 5 players plus myself, so it's 6 players. We use the 6-player board. It also tells us a couple of pieces of information. First of all, it says 2 minions of Mordred. So when we set up our players, 2 of the people on the table are going to be traders. We're going to be heading on quests, and the board tells us how many people are going to be going on these quests. So on the first round, 2 people are going to go. Second round, 3 people are going to go on, etc., etc. We use this little marker to denote what round we're on. So since it's the first round, we're going to put it there as a reminder. Now, before the game starts, we're going to go through and we're going to pick out our characters that will be in the game and explain them all. For the good guys, we have just some generic characters, just the loyal servants of Arthur. They have no special powers whatsoever. You can choose to have Merlin in the game. Merlin is very powerful. He knows all the different evil characters. However, he remains hidden to them. Adding Percival to the game can really increase the strength of the blue team. He knows who Merlin is. He doesn't get to know who anybody else is, but he knows who Merlin is. So out of all that, you choose 4 characters to use for the good side in this particular setup. Okay, on the evil side, we have the minions of Mordred. They also have no special powers. They're just random bad dudes. To increase the strength of the bad guy side, if you're using Merlin on the good guy side, you can use Mordred. Mordred does not reveal himself to Merlin. If you want to make it harder on the bad guy side, you can use Oberon. He's a bad guy, however, he is unknown to the evil side. If you're using Percival, you can use Morgana on the evil side. She also appears as Merlin. So when Percival opens his eyes to see who Merlin is, he's going to see 2 thumbs up. One of them is going to be a fake, one of them is going to be the real deal. Alright, so when you are using Merlin can be very powerful. Right out of the gate, he can basically just say, okay, those 2 people are bad guys, and the good guys' teams are going to win basically every time, especially if Percival's in the game. The assassin is kind of what keeps that in check. The assassin basically has a chance to, at the end of the game, even if the minions of Mordred have lost, the bad guy team has lost, if they are able to correctly identify who Merlin was, they win the game anyways. So again, in this particular setup, you're going to choose 2 of those roles to use. Alright, so now you've got your 4 good guys, your 2 bad guys, you're going to shuffle all those cards together, and you're going to deal them out to different players. Each player is going to inspect their card, look at it, and not tell anyone what's on it. At this point in the game, we're going to have a kind of an eyes-closed session, and everyone who's allowed to have information is going to have that information revealed to them. So the first thing that happens is all the minions of Mordred get to reveal themselves to each other. So we'll say something like, everyone close your eyes, minions of Mordred open your eyes, and reveal each other to each other. Then I would say, minions of Mordred, close your eyes. If there was Merlin in the game, I would say, okay, Merlin, open your eyes. Minions of Mordred, put your thumbs up. And then Merlin would be able to see the 2 thumbs. He would get to know who the bad guys are without them knowing who he is. And same thing, if Percival's in the game, then all that gets reset. Merlin puts his thumb up, Percival opens his eyes and sees who Merlin is. Once everyone has all the information that they're supposed to have, everyone closes their eyes, and then everyone opens their eyes, and we're ready for the first round. Now, the object of the game is to have your team win 3 of the 5 quests. So I have these little markers here. They're double-sided. After each round, we're going to take a look and see what happens. You know, if the good guys won, it's going to be a blue. If the bad guys won, it's going to be a red. So the first of 3 victories wins the game. Unless, of course, like we talked about, the assassin's in play. One person is going to be the king. That's going to be us because we're the only player that can talk. And we are going to choose who we want to go on the quest with us. Let's say myself and, Arctic Wolf. Now, every player also has an approve and reject tokens. They're going to look at this team and they're going to decide whether they want that team to happen or not. And again, they can lie any way they want. They can make themselves sound like they're good guys when they're really bad. If you're a good guy and they suspect the bad guys on the team, they might reject it for that reason. But again, that might make it more obvious to people. If collectively the group decided they did not want this team to happen, we would put down this little vote marker on the track. And if this happens 5 times in a row, gets all the way to that 5, the minions of Mordred, the bad guys, automatically win the game. So that can get really interesting. Basically, this is going to pass to the next person. They're going to create a team. And if no one likes that, the vote tracker is going to go up. This person's going to make a team, etc., until either someone approves the team or it gets to 5 and the game ends immediately. In my experience, the table usually does not let that happen. That's never occurred in one of the games that I've been in. Alright, once the team has finally been decided, each player involved in the quest is going to get a success and a fail card. Now, the blue team has to choose success. They have no choice in the matter. However, the red team can choose either success or fail. It only takes one fail in order to fail the mission as a whole, except for in the higher player counts, that stage 4 one, that quest 4, 2 fails are required there. But for the current game that we're in, it only takes one fail. So the people on the quest are going to turn their votes into the king. The king is going to shuffle those votes up so that way no one knows which vote came from which person. And we're going to flip them over. If all of them are successes, again, it's a blue. If even one of them is a red, or a fail, it's a red victory. At that point, the king token moves to the next person. They suggest a new team, and we keep on going on the table until one team has 3 victories. As the good guys, you are trying to suss out who the bad guys are. Only have the good guys on your team. As the bad guys, you are trying to sow discord and convince people that you are good, get them to have you on the team, on the mission that's going forth, and then fail it. And again, at the end of the game, if the blue team did win, and the assassin was in play, they get one last chance to choose out of the blue guys who they think is Merlin. If they guess correctly, they win anyways.
All right, so the character abilities in this game are really fun. I just like how you can take it and you can do extra things with it, and then you never really know if somebody's happening, especially Lancelot, because he could be good, he could be bad, he could be both. You never know what's going to happen. I love the character abilities.
Yeah, this game is extremely customizable. Like she mentioned, Lancelot, he's one of the promo characters. There's the Excalibur tile that you can pass around, and the Lady of the Lake. All that just adds so much to the game. But even without the promos, you can play this game straight with just the normal the knights and the minions of Mordred, or you can add in Merlin and Percival and Oberon and Morgana and all these different characters. It makes it so customizable. And with the way you shuffle out the cards, every time you play this game, you're going to be a different role. Every game feels different.
Yeah. I also think that this game hits the sweet spot for a social deduction game. It's long enough to where you feel like you have a chance, but it doesn't stay too long to where you get bored with it. And it's just really good about having it be in that sweet spot of time duration.
All right, so the theme for this game is just a ton of fun. We mentioned the resistance. In that game, there's spies, good spies and bad spies. But the theme worked just fine. It was a great game. We owned it and we loved it.
Yeah.
But when this came out, that game became obsolete to us. This was just so much more of an integral theme. Yeah. So much more interesting. And
the theme makes it easier to teach, too.
I think so, too. Yeah, you have these special character abilities that are a little bit... They kind of do the same thing that there's these plot thickens cards in the original Resistance. And the special character abilities do the same thing, but like in a more concise package.
Yeah.
So for all those reasons, the theme and the kind of the gameplay itself, this superseded the Resistance for us.
Yeah, I really, really adored this game. This actually made it into my top 50 games of all time, 2020. And so I really like this game. And I think that if you were to try out a social deduction game, then this would be the one to try out.
Yeah, it's so much fun. We play it with family, we play it with friends. It's a blast every time we play it. We've never had a dud game of this. It's always been just tons of laughs.
Yeah. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches update. But until then, you can always follow us on YouTube under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can follow us on Facebook under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can follow us on Instagram to see the games we're currently playing under Ryan and Bethany. You can also chat with us on Twitter under Ryan and Bethany 1.
All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, so just like in the Resistance Avalon, where there's hidden information, you can't see what everybody else's roles are, they can't see what your role is. It's a mystery, and I've got a mystery in my life as well. I have no idea how much I weigh, which is a real problem when you're trying to lose weight, but we don't have a scale right now that reads my weight. So, what I'm focusing on is the non-scale victories. I've been doing a really good job the past few days, and I'm pretty excited about that. My motivation level is high, my energy level, and more importantly, is high, and that just proves that the validity of doing all this stuff. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to when I can see what my number is and make improvements on that.
Well, thank you so much for staying tuned to the very end. We will see you next time.
Bye everybody.